Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Ms. Kimali Fernando, who is joining us online.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and Ayubowan to all of you. Sri Lanka is unique. As you may already know, this 2021 to 30 has been declared as Sri Lanka's growth decade. So from a tourism perspective, we really have a lot of potential. And I think with COVID happening, it has given us an opportunity again to look at how we can really strive to unleash this truly untapped potential and opportunity during this time. We are, frankly, from a tourism perspective, we are ready for revival. And let me tell you what we have done and what we are going to be doing. From a branding and positioning perspective, for the first time in over 10, 12 years, we are going ahead with a global promotion campaign. That basically means we have identified particular countries. We will appoint PR agencies and destination marketing companies to represent us in those countries. If you Africa, all these countries for years has been positioning their brand Sri Lanka first, right? Positioning brand Sri Lanka. For whatever reason, and also we had terrorism for 30 years, of course, and then subsequently to that, we opened up, and development happened, tourism happened. It was not a strategic, it was not a thought out process, but we achieved a lot. However, we may have not have built a proper brand. So what we're doing with the 5-year global promotion campaign is to have a coordinated, integrated campaign, a focused sort of a marketing approach. We are enhancing also very much our digital footprint. We are for the first time doing a 5-year research roadmap with the help of an international funding agency, so that it's a knowledge-based process. So what has happened in the past is predominantly sort of sun, sea, sand, offering cookie cutter products, sort of price-based marketing. What we're looking for going forward is to lure tourists with a higher yield, not high-end necessarily, but with a higher yield than just looking at arrival numbers. To do that, we are working on developing sort of promoting unique experiences, which we have to offer. We have so much to offer, right? So Sri Lanka is now emerging gradually as a destination where travelers have a desire to look beyond sort of the superficial elements. The strategic tourism goal is to sort of have a product which are fulfilled sort of the untapped potential of Sri Lanka. The vision is to sort of position Sri Lanka, differentiate ourselves, offering, develop sort of new markets, and increase the spend. It is also a very important part of our vision is to ensure that all people in the industry benefit and thrive from this sector. So global travelers, what are they looking for? They're looking for experiences. They are moving away from sort of regimented travel sort of itineraries. So I think the SMEs, majority of our industry needs to buy into that and be part of the change that the consumer is asking for. So before even the Easter Sunday, while we always say that COVID has had a tremendous impact on tourism, and it has, even before the Easter Sunday, there were, a lot of the industry was not that financially, doing that well, because it was, we went price-based marketing, sort of pitching maybe sort of for the lower yielding tourists. So already we had issues, I think. And then we had Easter Sunday, and then we had sort of, so this in a way is a sort of a great opportunity. When I was introduced, it was mentioned the importance of human capital, of course. This is developing the workforce, obviously, is critical. We have a hotel school, as you may know, So through the hotel school, we have expanded our courses. It's not just a chef or whatever. So we are expanding our courses, the tour guides, the experience based, the wellness. All that we are actually upgrading our diploma to a degree. A lot of work has been done. We are benchmarking our syllabus with other countries. Actually, a Swiss school is helping us to benchmark our syllabuses. So a lot of work is being done. But there are other areas that we have done for the first time. For example, World Roots. We are working for tourism is going in. We're participating in World Routes, which is basically where we are focusing on sort of a B2B sort of route strategy, where the whole aviation industry in the world is coming. So we are present in Sri Lanka. So there are, I think, 13,000 scheduled face-to-face meetings at that thing. So what we're trying to do is look inwards to Sri Lanka, but then also look at other areas. So World Routes is one example. We are looking at sustainability big time. Of course, sustainability is no longer an option. I think it was an option before, and people talked about ecotourism and so on, but now sustainability is no longer option. So Sri Lanka, what we have done in tourism has sort of a tactical initiatives that we have done. We've done sort of green building concept already. A guideline has implemented. So anyone who's investing in Sri Lanka in a new venture will have to abide by that. GSTC accreditation already has been done. As you know, Sri Lanka, we've stopped banned single-use plastic, but implementation of it is the critical part. And the National Sustainable Tourism Certification, we have initiated that. So several areas that we have initiated are ancient architecture anyway, which was sustainable really, is gaining a lot of traction now. So a lot of investors as well as consumers are looking to go back to that. Our traditional elements of design and sort of are used for centuries. I mean, this is what we're going back to, which is a wonderful thing of COVID, that people have, embraced this much more now. Of course, social responsibility is equally important because we are, of course, a multi-ethnic, multi-religious community with diverse cultural roots and so on. So consumers or travelers are also looking for that. They want to connect to society. They want to connect to the community. So whether it is agro-tourism, being on a farm and things like that, people want to be part of, which is just perfect for this shift post-COVID. The mindset is perfect, basically for Sri Lanka. Another angle we're looking at is technology. Technology, we have really embraced it. That's something that often in governments we need to improve. And so this is something that tourism we've really embraced. So we've been really proactive about this. We have looked at internal processes and external for the process re-engineering aspect as well. So we know the benefit of technology in offering it. So digitally, we are going digital promotions. We've integrated infrastructure internally. We actually increased, we sort of automated our registration. In fact, our registration increased tremendously during that period. Social media we have used, which is like 12 million followers for watching our posts during a certain period. So we have used technology in hotel school. The whole technology is important. Travel app is another important one. We are creating a travel app as you speak. We are getting the help of ADB. Actually, World Bank was supposed to help us, but they were unable to do so. So ADB is helping us to create the content. So that travel app will have all the destinations of Sri Lanka. We have collected about 6,000 sites. So all that will be there, the hotels, the tour guides, the travel agents, all that will be in the travel app. You'll be able to book tickets to see Sigiriya and Yal and so on from the travel app. You'll be able to make a complaint, for example. There'll be a survey with augmented reality. We'll be using artificial intelligence where when you're approaching sort of the airport, we will ask you to do a survey to give us some feedback. So all that is being done in terms of tourism. So basically continuous improvement, trying to look for custom experiences. Even we will have an emergency button connected to the police in case you have in trouble. You can press the button and share your location and so on. So yeah, so global promotion campaign critical going forward. 5 years, destination companies, PR agencies, a digital media agency, a campaign management unit, all that to be done. Um, a lot of it's government procurement, all that. It's kind of a tedious process, but we have progressed a lot, and we are like 70 progress. So I'm believing that by January, February, majority of the work will be done, and we should be to start to roll out first quarter or later second quarter of next year. Working with the missions, very important. Actually, foreign policy plays an important role in strengthening economic and trade relations, and has really a potential to impact and profile our country. So Sri Lanka tourism has really embraced that. So we play a key role in that. We actually engage with ambassadors in Sri Lanka. And have a very good relationship. We work very closely with our missions overseas as well, whether it is getting across the message about Sri Lanka, whether it is keeping the dream alive and getting that across, or getting across the health guidelines, or assisting them coordinating things. So yes, so that's another area. The international partnerships, that is the international funding agencies. They've really bought on to tourism. They acknowledge the potential of tourism. They've seen it. They've seen our growth mindset. The foreign companies have invested in Sri Lanka, many, and also the international funding agencies like, ADB and GIZ, the World Bank, Australia Skills Development, Australia MDF, all these international funding agencies are helping us tremendously, and that is a reflection of what we are doing at the moment. Another area, of course, is the trade shows, the promotions that go on strategically. So the trade shows are basically, what it means is it's B2B. Yeah? So trade shows will be B2B, where you would our trade partners would meet their trade partners overseas. So we have participated in several large trade fairs, and we will be doing some more as well, WTA, IT Berlin, and so on. So we will be doing that in Germany, in UK, in France, and so on. So that process will continue. We have also done the Dubai Expo. We are participating as Sri Lanka Tourism is representing Sri Lanka in Dubai Expo. So we have done something a little bit different. Instead of just showing tourism, we've tried to showcase everything of Sri Lanka, whether it's a mask or our dance or our culture, or it's a gems or anything, jewelry, gem and jewelry, whatever. We've tried to do it. For the first time, actually, a water-based tourism is being promoted. Actually, the design was not made by us. It was already made. But we just used whatever the design was given and tried to showcase Sri Lanka. So the water-based is being promoted because they had made it in sort of waves or water sort of theme, which is perfect for us because Sri Lanka really has not promoted water despite us being an island. So water-based tourism was promoted, cinematic creations we've made sort of underwater and, a lot of stuff. So, of course, the internet sensation, our wonderful, young, talented Yohani will also be performing for tourism in Dubai in January. So Sri Lanka Pavilion was actually nominated as one of the best pavilions by Expo for the design that was made. Actually, it was made by Morato University students, actually. So, yeah. Wellness tourism, key. Wellness, indigenous Ayurveda, Helaveda Kama, this COVID, post-COVID, this is actually wonderful. Our Ayurveda has healed our communities for centuries. So for the first time, we are doing some global research on how to implement this. European Union is helping us with wellness for the German and the French market, actually. So we'll be promoting there. We are also very proud that Sri Lanka was recently nominated, ranked number 5 in the world for wellness destinations. So that's actually super, According to the Global Wellness Institute, Sri Lanka was number 4 leading destination for spiritual healing. They ranked us of spiritual reading, and Bali was ranked number one. So there is an angle. Our culture, our various religions, all that. See, globally we have been recognized for that. So this is a great potential for. So we look for that space, where the healing, the mind, the body, the soul, this kind of a concept. Film tourism is another area that we are finding loads of people, companies from Bollywood as well as actually Europe, Russia as well, UK, wanting to come to Sri Lanka. And film is a wonderful way to promote a country. Loads of countries have used films to promote their country. New Zealand is one, Australia is another. So Sri Lanka Tourism has stepped in, and we are creating a single window for approvals, because there's a lot of approvals and collaboration that is needed with various government line agencies. Digital nomads. We've already got cabinet approval. We'll be implementing that soon. So you get a 1-year visa. You can come and work from our own tropical paradise. Sri Lanka was actually ranked number 2 in Club Med Index. So yeah, this is something that I think there's a lot of potential, and also it really does benefit the community, because digital nomads, join the community. They rent a place, they stay long, they use a tuk-tuk, they go to the shops, so they do add value immediately to the community, which is really good. We will also look at, the other lots of areas we're looking at. We're like uplifting a lot of the areas. Couch Safari was another one I mentioned before. We live streamed. We strategic position sort of our destination offering, and what we did was, Yal, Mineri and all that, we live streamed it globally, sort of a virtual safari. And we got lots of positive feedback to keep the dream alive, so that people see it and say, okay, I want to come to Sri Lanka. So we had at that time about 19 million viewers actually at that time. So the second installment, if you like, of Couch Safari will be live again. We'll do another one underwater as well. So we'll be doing something underwater, showing sort of shipwrecks and stuff like that, and underwater corals, and showcasing that. So we are focusing very much on experiences, marketing also to the younger generation, the millennials, and the post sort of a COVID traveler. Tourism investments critical for any country. Most countries are promoting that. We have streamlined that completely now. All 34 line agencies, it's all in one approval process already. We actually got a lot of help. We merged all the applications, so it's a one-stop shop. We've seen results from it already. So significant increases in the investments, despite we had sort of recently approved like a floating hotel built on water. We approved a cable car in the hill country, Norelia, going over the tea plantations and forest. We've approved several sort of wellness-based sort of integrated boutique hotel complexes and stuff like that recently. So the accommodation inventory will be increasing. But I see a positive change, that people are really going into sustainable and that kind of a concept, so which is fabulous for us. So a lot of support is given by us right throughout the investment process. Water-based tourism, as I mentioned before, I think this is really untapped area for Sri Lanka. If you look at some other countries, I mean, they have a small, tank or a river or there's so much water sports and activity, but Sri Lanka somehow we haven't done that enough. So water-based tourism, I think, is something we can work on more. Sri Lanka has a sea area which is 8.5 times the size of our island. So that's a huge area, 555,000 square kilometers around our country. So we haven't used it. So sailing is around the year. Sri Lanka is an island with islands. We have about 25 islands in Sri Lanka, which hasn't been really explored. So Sri Lanka also, has a maritime history, which is with shipping trade and cultural links with the world. And recently, an underwater museum also was created by the Navy. So the floating market was opened recently as well. So tourism for the first time will be launching sort of a yachting and water-based tourism kind of a idea. So going forward, airline connectivity, of course, we are an island, so airline connectivity is critical for us. So that's the reason we are participating in the World Routes. Sri Lanka Tourism is leading that. During the last year, of course, happy to say that new airlines were given landing rights, several new airlines to develop route connectivity. The airport expansion, as you may know, is to double capacity, has more than commenced. It's progressed significantly. More licenses were actually given for domestic flights as well. We have 5 international airports and sort of 9 domestic airports. Railways, we started to work with them as well. It's slow progress, but yeah, we started to work with them. Experiences, whether it is wellness, religious tourism, adventure, nautical tourism, aqua, sports tourism, medical tourism, food, history, culture, all of that critical for us. We are going after those, very well. And Sri Lanka is really emerging as a destination where travelers have a desire really to embrace all this, rather than the superficial sort of elements, get so much more, which is really perfect for us post-COVID. So island is blessed, really. I'm a proud Sri Lankan, and I think our island truly is blessed. And our island has many, many unique experiences. You could swim with a giant turtle, lounging on a yacht while watching whales and manta rays swim by. You can explore sort of ancient kingdoms, take part in traditional paddy harvest, or mine for your own precious stones. I mean, these are unique experiences. We have compiled a comprehensive database of over 6,000 experiences, and that will be, as I mentioned, on our app. Whether it is hiking or camping, I mean, all this will be on our sort of app. So more so than ever before, diverse industries and sectors are working closely with tourism and sort of building new, unique experiences, thus creating great opportunities for investors also, as well as visitors. Now, the important areas, of course, business meetings, MICE, and city tourism. This critical area, because there's high volume area. India is a key market for us. It's an area that we are expanding. The infrastructure is also expanding. Wedding tourism, another important area. India again has seen that potential. They have come to us. They also enjoy big weddings like us. So this is something we are well equipped to create memorable weddings. We got lots of recognition overseas. I don't want to go through all of them, but many, many, many recognitions. We did the top 5 to travel by Condé Nast Traveler, Reader's Choice. We were at Global Wellness and Bloomberg, Club Med, all CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, Gulf News. All these, we got publicity as well from all these people. So we've been recognized, but being recognized alone is, of course, not enough. The results need to come to the economy and to our people, our citizens, So that's what we're working on. The millennial travelers, critical, the young generation. We are very much aware of the trends, and we are really aligning ourselves to meet their needs. They're an important segment. They are looking really, this group is looking for authentic experiences, more so than ever. They don't travel with parents or whatever, they travel with people, like-minded people. They are looking for water sports and trekking and mountaineering and climbing and all that, which we have. They don't look for, big possessions, but they want experiences. So they are never going to go for cookie cutter products. So they look for tree houses, camping, quirky products, local food. Sri Lanka is off the beaten track. So we have a great offering. They will look for wellness. They may not always look for Ayurveda or Ayurveda Karma, but they will also look for meditation or yoga. They might go for the sort of the more contemporary wellness experience, such as like walking through our forest, to relax under waterfall, this kind of thing. So not forgetting, of course, our food culture and customs. So this group is an important group. They're technology savvy, connected, demanding. So these guys are good because they use social media, they share a lot of content, which is good for us as well. So this is an important segment. Of course, I mentioned digital nomads and work from anywhere concept. This is another important, work from your tropical paradise concept. So this is something that we are keeping an eye out for. So post-COVID travelers, important segment for us. They'll look for nature for sure. Sri Lanka has 26 national parks. 1/3 of our island is forest. We have the highest density of waterfalls in the world, 103 rivers with amazing weather all year round, 21,500 square kilometers of water with resources almost untouched. Post-COVID, travelers will look for health and well-being. Sri Lanka, with our indigenous Ayurveda, is uniquely placed. Our food known to build immunity, our ancient customs and sort of practices will share with the world, and our meditation and yoga retreats will help them unwind. Post-COVID, travelers will look for space. Sri Lanka never went for mass scale sort of tourism. We pitched for authentic experiences where you can connect with the community. So with the many lockdowns in the world, due to people are restless, they want to travel. When the opportunity arises, they will travel, and they will travel big, and they will gravitate towards the big idea, bucket list, unique experiences. This results in the growth of nature-based tourism, camping, trekking, hiking, experience-based, sustainable travel. They may do fewer trips, but they will do sort of a longer stays, I think. So Sri Lanka really has everything what the post-COVID traveler is looking for. I mean, I see it as a fantastic opportunity for us. Sri Lanka is a destination with much potential, with improved investment facilitation, sustainability, technology focus, a shift towards experiences, repositioning initiatives we are taking, infrastructure developments, and with our able workforce. This is our moment. Our country is unique. Our heritage, our culture, our wildlife, our nature, beaches, and more have all proven to be popular, given the popularity of other islands also recently. We believe, I truly believe, that Sri Lanka offers a unique product. And working in partnership with other line agencies and the industry and partners, we Sri Lankans, who are 3 million of them who are dependent on tourism and the economy, can greatly benefit from tourism. Thank you so much.